So it's been a little while since we looked at Bitcoin, about a month and a half. Let's just look at what's been going on with Bitcoin for the past, like I said, month and a half. Last time we looked at them was July 8th. It was trading about 30,200. Now it's at 25,600, depending on the timing. We noticed that it was in a slight uptrend, so to see it pull back, maybe it's now a good time to pick this one up. We didn't like the price at 30,000, and I'm seeing we had a buy point at about 25,300. So it looks like it's going to be a buy. We also noticed consolidation between about 30,000 and 25,000. So it looks like that might be what's happening here. But yeah, let's just kind of look into it. I think what I'm going to do, something a little bit out of the ordinary. So normally I would start from the beginning, but I'm actually going to skip to the very end because I feel like that might be most important right now. Um, so yeah, these last two articles, and then we'll go back to the beginning. So apparently what's kind of driving the big decline recently, from what I can see, is number one, there's this Marcus Thielen, head of crypto research at digital asset service platform Matrixport. He apparently follows this stuff a lot closer than probably a lot of people, but he realized that volatility hit 18%. The last time volatility was this low in November of 2018, Bitcoin's 30-day realized volatility spiked to over 100% as prices crashed by 46%. So I guess that is potentially what could happen here. It could crash to those types of levels. So we'll be aware of that. We'll be watching. But uh, just to continue, sharp price declines have often followed low volatility periods. We are not predicting such a significant decline, but expected at least a 13% decline. So far, prices, and this is as of yesterday, so things will probably change, but it was down about 10% as of yesterday. They also pointed this out, and this might be the real driver, is that Elon Musk founded rocket company SpaceX wrote down the value of its Bitcoin holdings by a total of $373 million in the past 2 years. Cryptocurrency saw a total liquidation of $1 billion over the past 12 hours, roughly 800 million in long positions. So I'm just kind of surprised that that would have that type of impact. I did a little like quick math here on just what would Bitcoin's market cap be, and it's something like $500 billion. So yeah, 3 to 400 million dollars is a lot of money, but compared to 500 billion, it's just very surprising to see that type of change impact this. Um, so yeah, here we have Bitcoin crash to trade as low as 25,400 on Friday, wiping out $44 billion of its market cap and leading a market-wide crypto fall. Again, came as Elon Musk SpaceX reported writing down its crypto holdings. And again, SpaceX is a private company. I haven't seen their reporting, so honestly, what I'm imagining happened here is SpaceX relies on the US government. The US government technically isn't approving Bitcoin yet. Might change in the near future, but for now, they don't approve it. They fund SpaceX to some degree. It could be as simple as that, that they just said, hey, we're not going to invest with you anymore unless you get rid of that. Or it could potentially just be, Bitcoin's hasn't really been in a great position over the past 2 years. We'll look at their price action here. Over the past 2 years, it's mainly been going down. So it might just be we're seeing the balance of their Bitcoin go down as opposed to them selling it. But either way, this isn't that much for such a large sell-off, in my opinion. But yeah, if we can find those, like their balance sheet or something, I'd be very happy to read that and look into it. But overall, I'm not seeing why it would plunge so hard on just that little piece. But we're just gonna play it as we see it. So going back to the beginning, so some other things we see are There's this spot Bitcoin ETF that is looking for approval from the courts. Uh, in anticipation of a decision of that case, which is between Grayscale and the SEC, BlackRock has filed for a Bitcoin ETF, and so has Fidelity. So that kind of gives us hope, but they might just be, hoping for the best. And if the best does come true, they're going to be prepared. So no approval has been made. I believe a decision's due soon, but nothing yet. If that happens, Bitcoin could climb very quickly. Um, but yeah, nothing announced yet, so we'll just keep following that. We also have Europe. They put out a spot Bitcoin ETF. It was set to launch in July. I'm assuming that went through. I haven't heard anything since, and here we are in like mid-August. So I'm assuming that went through. No issues, but if something does come up, we'll bring it up. Just some other insights here is there's this Jacoby Asset Management. They delayed the launch of its spot Bitcoin ETF that was originally set to debut in July of 22. I didn't see what held it up. I don't know if it was a personal thing from the management company or something else going on in the background. It didn't say. So if you're more familiar, please let me know. But for whatever reason, it was delayed. But it seems like it's now going through. This also isn't the first cryptocurrency-based financial product in the European market. Germany had this BTC CE Bitcoin exchange trade product listed all the way back in 2021, and now it's going to expand across all of Europe. I assume they're European Union, so that should be a very positive thing. I'm not maybe that's what's causing that uptrend, but we'll see. So moving on, we also had there was a move that BlackRock amended its filing for the Bitcoin ETF application in late June. The SEC officials reportedly expressed concern that the original ETF application filed by BlackRock and other asset managers were not sufficiently comprehensive. And so I think that's a positive thing here. I mean, not that the SEC wouldn't take all applications seriously, but the fact that, BlackRock, they submitted an ETF, probably just did the minimum, just to get the ball rolling. The SEC, it sounds like they already looked at it and were like, you should actually give us a little more. And so to me, that kind of seems like a good thing. But again, we'll see what happens with the Grayscale case. They also added to convince regulators. BlackRock added a surveillance sharing agreement with U.S. crypto exchange Coinbase to its updated application. And I think that's really kind of the big concern here, especially from the SEC side, is that we can't really track Bitcoin. But the argument here that I think BlackRock and maybe even Grayscale is making is if someone like me buys Bitcoin, me personally, with my knowledge, I'm just gonna go through a company like a Coinbase, like a BlackRock, some company that they will list and they're gonna track what I'm depositing, what I'm purchasing, and so the surveillance thing, the big concern is if I'm trading Bitcoin, who's going to be able to track that? Who knows where the money's going? Things like that. But if someone like BlackRock is tracking it also, they know where the money is, so they can tell SEC, hey, this is how much he has there. This is the transactions he's making. I'm sure there's going to be some tax implication at some point, but that seems to be the big concern, and BlackRock's kind of addressing it. So again, a positive thing here. Next, we have SEC sued Coinbase back on June 6th, claiming that the exchange breached federal securities law by offering unregistered financial securities to investors. There's now a setback on that. The SEC on July 13th received the setback from another lawsuit filed more than 2 years ago against Ripple Labs, when a U.S. district court ruled that Ripple Labs' programmatic sales of its XRP cryptocurrency did not qualify as offering of financial securities. So two different things here. SEC saying this coin is what is it? An unregistered financial security. But then we have XRP, a different coin. They're saying that's not a security. So if that's going to be the case, that it's not a security, that should help Coinbase, which should help others down the road. But we'll see the impacts of that. We also have Kuwait. They're cracking down on crypto, saying they're going to ban payments, investment, and mining. Kuwait's kind of a small country. I don't know what their population is, but compared to like an America or the Europe, um, there's still just too much action. I can't imagine Kuwait having that much of an impact. Yes, it's definitely, I would say, bad news. It's definitely not good, but it's not bad enough that it would really change the direction of Bitcoin. But of course, it's notable, so we bring it up. Here we have like the all-time bull case for Bitcoin, and I can definitely see the vision of this one. I don't know about these price points that they're putting out here, but it definitely catches your attention where this person's saying that Bitcoin could soar to 180,000 before April 2024. This, of course, has two things behind it. There's this April 2024 is the halving of Bitcoin, which essentially means I don't know how you do it exactly, but you mine whoever's mining Bitcoin. Say right now they would get, I don't know, $10 or 10 Bitcoin if they find the Bitcoin. But on April 2024, it's going to go from 10 to 5. So it's halving. Whatever the price point is. So that's happening. That's like guaranteed. No matter what, that's happening. And that's a good thing because that means supply is going to stay limited, which, should drive the price up. And then there's, as we discussed, this ETF. If Bitcoin can be added to the stock exchange as an ETF, that should drive in a lot of new money. And so that's what he's saying here is that the Bitcoin ETF launch would bring daily demand to $125 million. Again, that's just an estimation, a projection. Not saying it would happen overnight, but potentially that's what they're saying could happen is demand would go to 125 million, while right now the supply is only 25 million. The implied equilibrium price point, he's saying to get the supply to match demand, it would raise the prices to about 140 to 180,000. Such a high number compared to what it is right now. It's almost crazy to think about, but I can understand the logic. Again, I don't know if those are the correct points, but I can understand the logic that if these two positive things happen, then yes, the price is obviously going to go up. Again, I don't know if they'll go to that level that quick, but we'll follow this, of course. This guy, also Sean Farrell here, he's the head of this fund strat, which I believe came up with this quote up top. He's saying 75% chance that this Bitcoin ETF is going to get approved in the near term. I'm assuming he knows more about this than us, so that's a favorable thing just overall. Let's move on to, so just a quick point on that Coinbase case. So Bitcoin was the only cryptocurrency the SEC asked Coinbase not to delist. So the SEC asked Coinbase to delist over 200 crypto assets, but Bitcoin was not on that list. So again, Bitcoin, at this point, Bitcoin seems like it is just too large to really, they just can't strip it away from the public that fast. It just would be too harmful, I think. So we'll just see how it plays out, but this is good for Bitcoin, kind of scary for the other coins, but Bitcoin seems to be safe right now. But yeah, that just interesting fun fact there. So this one was interesting. Just seeing a little bit of difference of opinion. This one shouldn't really impact anything, potentially long term, like if there's another case. But anyway, there's this U.S. judge, Jed Rakoff, who said cryptocurrencies can be securities when sold to the general public. This is only important because that XRP digital token case that we touched on a little bit earlier, the judge in that said that a security only when it was sold to institutional investors and not when it was purchased by the general public. So we have this Judge Torres saying it's, what is it? It's a security in one case and not the other, but Judge Rakoff is saying no, it's a security probably in both cases. So again, Rakoff has no judgment on this. He was not the judge. Torres was, but I mean, this just shows that if this would have been in front of a different judge, could have been completely different. So we'll see if that kind of gets brought back up and changed. But for right now, we're assuming, hey, it got approved, and it's kind of good news. But again, we'll just keep watching. The last one is, yeah, the last article before we switch to the technical analysis. So Bitcoin extends losses as BNB falls after Binance closes payment service. So Binance said it will shut down its cryptocurrency payment service, Binance Connect, on Wednesday due to changing market and user needs. Binance also filed a protective court order against the U.S. SEC on Monday, seeking to restrict agencies' overbroad requests for information. So not too good for Binance. I guess we'll find out the impact that it has on, Bitcoin. But again, I'm sure there's some overlap here. It's just, again, just worth bringing up for now. And then, to close out, we touched on this, how the Elon Musk thing and SpaceX, and just this seems to be the driver for why it's falling so quickly. Again, very surprising, but we'll just see. So let's switch to technical analysis to just see what's been going on. So here's this huge red candle that we kind of hinted at earlier. So it's at 26,000. So Bitcoin's always trading. Doesn't really matter when you look. It's going to be moving. Might be moving a little more in recent times, but so just starting from the beginning, we last checked on July 8th. So roughly at the bottom of this candle. Either way, somewhere around here, about 30,200. If we scale back and looking at our note, we notice this slight uptrend. And so some things have changed. I will point that out, just trying to streamline things. We added this other orange uptrend channel, just to see if it would still be in that parameter, because with the purple, that's been there. That was the original uptrend that we noticed. And then, of course, when it's broke, we noticed, we could probably scale it back a little bit to like a lower level. And maybe in the past, when we counted that as in the uptrend, maybe it was actually outpacing it by a lot as opposed to a little. So we just kind of scaled it back. It's still breaking that uptrend channel, but not to as much, not to as large of a degree, but still it's breaking it. And then, of course, we also noted that since about March, it has been trading between about 25,000 and 30,000. So to see it pull back this drastically, again, it's definitely breaking that uptrend, but it's still maintaining that $25,000 to $30,000 range. So I guess let's just start updating this. I think we kind of have enough. Overall, I'm going to say this is a buy at this point, just where we're at. Or I guess we're at 26,000. It changes so quick. So currently at 26,000. Originally I had buy points at 25,300, which is this green line down here. Hopefully that's visible, but it's just below where it is now. I still like that. That's kind of the bottom, and truly I could probably bring that up just a little bit to about 25,700, but we'll keep it where it is because it's kind of acting as resistance if we go back a little bit further, but also support. So we'll keep it where it is, but that's clearly flexible. It could go up to like 25,600. I'd be okay with that. So 25,300. That's probably the point that we're watching most closely right now. especially because, again, it's broken that uptrend. Looking at where we are, we'll just take the one that kind of fits the narrative best, which in this case would be that orange uptrend channel. If we follow that as opposed to the purple, the very bottom of that would be right around 27,600. If we fast forward a week, maybe 2 weeks, when we hope to circle back on this, it'd be about 28,300. So I'm going to update the 27,300 to 28,300. And we also had 29. I'm guessing that was 29. That must have been the top of this channel, but I have 30,000, or yeah, 30,800. So I'm just gonna update that. So 28, another buy point at 29,000. I'm not sure how I found that number. 29,000? Looking back to July. Oh, okay. Yeah, July. Okay, that's the bottom of the purple uptrend. So I don't know, we got a little mixed up there, but so buy at 28,300 would be down here. 28,000. And that gives us about a 2-week buffer. We'll say 28,400. And then another buy point of 29,000. I think I'll just keep it at the 2 buy points for right now. Again, I'm focusing on 25,300. Resistance for right now, 30,800. That is the blue line where we found resistance there. That is still the price or the point of interest on a resistance. We also had 35,200. I'm guessing that was just the top of the purple uptrend. It looks like we actually had some resistance there going back to 2021. Following the uptrend that we have, and again, looking forward about a couple weeks, I'd probably say like 33.9. So I'll update the 35, and we'll just say 33.9. But again, I'm looking at 30,800. We can update to today. The notes. Okay, so the slight uptrend since January 2023 may have broken. Also so we need to update that. Also consolidating. Hold on. Consolidating between, let's see, about 25.3K and 30.8K. Okay. So that pretty much wraps this up. So yeah, if you have any questions or want to leave any comments, I'd be happy to read that. But otherwise, yeah, that's it. So just a quick recap here. So Bitcoin, I'm giving it a buy. It's definitely dipped. Yes, it may have broken the uptrend, but because we didn't buy at the dip, I definitely want to get this one now while I can, because it might bounce back up. If it continues to head lower, the price I would probably add twice here, just because one time is for the dip, and then the second time would be if it actually goes to 25.3, I would pick it up again. If it broke that point, yeah, I'm probably going to wait a little while to maybe it looks like we have 19,000 marked off. So that's how I'm playing it. Let me know how you want to play it. But so to quickly wrap this up, we have Bitcoin here. Currently it's at 26,000 roughly. I'm sure that's going to change. But buy points I have marked at 25,300. That's kind of the bottom of the consolidation window. And then 28,400, that would be the bottom of the uptrend channel. So because it's broken that and I haven't picked it up, I definitely want to add it here because of that dip. If it goes down to maybe 25,300, I might add it again. We also are seeing resistance at 30,800, which is the top of the consolidation box, and resistance at 33,900. That would be the top of that uptrend channel. Getting kind of far away from that, so we're just keeping it in there for now, but kind of getting far away from that point. Update the date, and then the note, that slight uptrend since January of 2023. That might have broken here, but we'll keep it in for another week or two just to see if it can bounce back into it. Also noting that it's consolidating between 25,300 and 30,800 since March. That is still happening right now, getting close to the bottom, so we'll see if it bounces back off of that point or near that point. But yeah, that wraps it up. So please, again, if you have any questions or want to leave a comment, I'd be happy to answer that or look at those. Otherwise, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.